Blackpool FC, a club that as recently as 2010 reached the pinnacle of English football when they achieved the impossible and gained promotion to the Premier League via the playoffs. Since that point, the club's fortunes have changed drastically and they now sit in the bottom tier of the English game. I've recently met with a number of fans and members of the Supporters Trust and taken a trip down memory lane to try and find out where it all went wrong.
Yeah, we beat Forest 4 times that season, twice in the league and twice in the play.
DJ Campbell, that's another one. Blackpool, surely on their way to Wembley now.
I still to this day see Wembley as the best day of my life so far.
Well open up here for DJ Campbell. He lost his footing at the important moment. Overrun! For the first time, Blackpool are in front.
It was exciting, it was attacking football, it was just sheer entertainment. And the early part of the season you wouldn't have realised that where we were going to end up, but we just improved as we went along. It just got better and better. And when we finally got into the playoffs, it was just incredible. Nobody could expected it. So I think because it was so unexpected, that's why it felt so very, very special.
See them playing with like Charlie Adam with springing perfect angles across the pitch, and just the attacking vibrant way they played under Holloway was brilliant.
Well, I think for me the best thing was that we became, through that season, everybody's second favourite team. Regardless of who they supported, they were looking out for Blackpool, and we were doing things that people didn't think we could do, and we couldn't believe it ourselves. And it went on, and it was such a shame we got relegated on the last day. I think we were in the bottom 3 for just the last day of the season, which was heartbreaking really. But all credit to the team, they really delivered for us. I just wish that we'd made some more sound investments around the January window that would have kept us up. Could easily have happened.
The game that stands out for me was Liverpool away at Anfield, beating them 2-1. Just to see us beat Liverpool, I mean, I still bring it up to my Liverpool support mates to this day, just because the way we played that day was just perfect, and it just brought me great happiness. And to see Ormroth score against Tottenham as well, that was a particular highlight for me.
I think what caused the decline was the Oystons, and the Oyster family not spending any money on players. He stated a few weeks ago, live on national TV, he spent £50 million on players. Where are they? Where are the £50 million for the players?
But I don't think we learned from our lessons, because when we got relegated from the Premier League, we lost players, people like David Vaughan, simply because we hadn't got them tied into proper contracts. And yet instead of learning from that, we just continued into all this short-termism, short contracts, no real investment in long-term in the personnel. And I think as a manager, I think this is when Ian Holloway probably began to feel, hang on a minute, what's going on? I've really, really delivered, and yet I'm not being backed properly.
Yeah, he said it was a castle built on sand when we got relegated from the Premier League. And I think the more that next season went on, the more he realised he was just fighting against the tide, and the tide was the Oysters not really being prepared to back the club in the way that it should have been.
Still a considerable lack of investment from the owners and lack of care because from their point of view they've had a lot of money go through the club from the Premier League, and it seems to us that a considerable lack of investment has gone into players, the training ground. I mean, the training ground has been promised for years and years and nothing's ever come about, and it doesn't look like it will under their stewardship. So it's the lack of investment from the Premier League and the lack of care they've shown, and just they've watched this club decline as it's just fallen and fallen. There's been just a lack of positivity from them. They've not had any valuable discussion with any fans, and they've not put the club interest at heart, which I think, as an owner of a football club, that's what you have to be doing.
What really, really makes a difference is revenue, or the cutting off of revenue, and that's what boycotting is all about.
Well, I think they've got a lot of media attention behind them, especially like the 2 Judgment Days, which we had. I mean, at Judgment Day 2 we had 4,000 people attending, which was incredible to see the sea of people who all want to see change of the football club because they know how it could be and how it should be. I think they've brought a lot of, they have a lot of feeling of togetherness. I feel that we're all like trying to achieve the same goal rather than us against them as it has been against the Oysters. It's just the feeling of togetherness that we all want to get them gone and to have that positive feeling again at the football club. So
we've tried to work with the Football League, we've tried to get them involved in what's happening here, tried to get them to mediate, and they've declined to do so. They said there's nothing they can do at the moment. Technically, the Oysters have done nothing wrong as owners of the football club. We think that what they're doing is immoral, but it's not illegal. So we are working as hard as we can behind the scenes with other clubs, with various authorities to try and get governance changes. And the more that we can liaise with the likes of other clubs who are in crisis like us, I think the more chance we have of making this visible and getting people to take notice.
I think it shows that fans, despite the often rivalry in the stands, it shows that we all understand who we are as football fans, even if we don't support the same club. But fans are united because there's a lot of clubs going wrong right now as well as us, but we're one of the worst ones. So we're all fighting, we're all pulling for the same goal.
I think it's sad the fact that the people rob the club of funds and what have you for their own ends, when the club's got a long steeped history. And it's the same not just in Blackpool but in other towns of football and what have you, and it's robbed for personal ends. I mean, it's like an asset really to Blackpool and to football as well. I mean, it's grassroots sort of things we're talking about here, and if the funds are taken, they can't be passed down to bring young, especially local players, which I think England as a whole, for the national team as well, need for these young players to come through. And if the money isn't available because it's been taken for whatever reason to go elsewhere, it doesn't filter down to give them a good footing and a stead for the future. I mean, where would the whole national game be? Because without a pool of good players to choose from.
The protest now is more about principle than about performance. And I think really the more successful a team is on the pitch, if the boycott holds, I think that really gives its own message. And the message quite simply is that we do not feel as fans that the people who own this football club are fit to own it, and we will not come back until they have gone.
It's a shame that some of them don't come back to support the team. This is why at the end of last season it got a bit nasty even for us. We didn't come to the end of the season because of the barricading that there was going on in the ground. This year it's brilliant. All right, that's probably seemed to be so bad today. So there's no trouble in the ground. Nobody's shouting. Let those that want to pay and go and see the match and support the team, let us do it without anybody, calling us.
Seeing them up and down, that's warranty.
I'm just someone that can't come away to a game really. I've got to be home and away really. I couldn't just leave football like that, to be honest. It's like a passion.
I hope we'll see Blackpool in the Premier League again, and I think under the right ownership we definitely could, because as we showed with Bellicot's investment in the Premier League, to get us to the Premier League, it worked. We're like a perfect storm. But I think the light at the end of the tunnel has to be, for me, the departure of the Oysters from the football club.
It's not in my lifetime, no.
Well, as we stand this season, you've seen us having a good season, a few good homes. I think right management. I think he's chose the wrong managers at the wrong times. Now under Boyer, I think we could rise a bit further up these leagues. I don't think we'll go as high as the Prem again, but I think we could reach Championship level one day.
Yes, we'd like to see Blackpool in the Premier League again, of course. I think what's going to happen next is Valeri Bellicot, who we talked about earlier, who has a 20% stake in the club, is taking the Oysters to court on 2 counts. One is about the commercial agreement they've got with the South Stand, and the other one is more about how he feels that the company hasn't dealt fairly with his investment in it. And I think what that's trying to do is leverage the Oysters out, basically. one way or another. If they lose, then they will suffer financially. We're hoping that Valeri Bellicon will still want to be involved in Blackpool and will find other investors who come alongside him and make an offer for the club that the Oysters will accept. They've got to be prepared to sell. That's the first thing. Up until now, they've put way too unrealistic price tags on this. Clearly the business is losing value all the time, and we just hope it'll come to the point during the next few months when that will finally get resolved and they'll go and we'll have other buyers coming in and taking over, and then if the team continues to do well under Bowyer, we can progress up the league again and the fans will come back, and yes, one day we might get the dream back.